Hello, listeners. Welcome to the Dream Stream podcast, your dream work podcast. I am Yiskah Cook.
And I am Ellen Ronis.
Hi, Ellen. Always
Hello.
such a pleasure.
Same.
So let's just go right into it. I know you're busy. I think you're traveling very, very soon.
Mm-hmm.
When?
Well, not for like a week and a half, I guess.
That's close enough to already
Yeah, like it is
be
close
in
enough
full
to
anxiety.
totally
Make your
full
list for packing. You get
full
me.
on,
I need a
full
list.
on. Yes, yes,
I'm a list person.
yes. I have a list of things like on my refrigerator. Yeah, no, I'm in full on like OCD mode, which is
Okay.
finally
Yes.
realized I'm like, I think I have some OCD.
Yeah.
But anyway, I get things done. So
Well,
anyway.
that's great. So this is just a fragment. And as we always talk about, Ellen, we say sometimes fragments really take you so much deeper. And then I think that's when you put your imagination to the task of
Yeah.
unpacking it.
Yes.
So I had a dream that someone is closing slash fixing my earrings without being asked. And I think, wow, someone thought to do that. And I'm explaining to the person or people that they are melted down, not from India, but from Kingston. And that was, and that was that whole fragment.
Wow. So clarifying question, were these earrings in your ears and somebody was coming and fixing them?
It's these earrings, and
Uh,
and they're not quite clicked together.
uh-huh.
Well, I can't do it, but
Mhm.
someone like didn't even ask.
Uh-huh. They
But
just
I
came up
wasn't
to your
offended.
person, like on your person.
They
They
came right up to me,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
they see, you can kind of see.
Yeah, it's not closed all the way. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So so and I really feel when we ask, what do I want to know? I really want to know about the, and I had the word smelding in mind. So I'd like to explore.
Melding, is that an actual?
Melding, is smelding a word?
I don't think so, but
Okay.
I'm all about making up words. So if that,
Okay.
but
Well, it
it
is
has to
now.
mean something to you. So
It's a word now. All right. So that's the dream.
yeah, so okay, so they kind of invaded your space. That's my projection.
Yeah.
But
But
also they were helping you do
they are
something that
helping
you
me.
actually in waking life have a hard time doing yourself.
Oh, I wouldn't be able. And that's why that's why like the wider part is through.
Yes.
Narrow it is. And I'm
Yeah.
just so
But
I
so
yeah.
in the yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing, and I was gonna
Oh,
go
mhm.
on with that.
So in the dream, uh, how did you feel when that person was doing that?
Well, I was surprised that they had noticed that because I have a lot of hair, but I also was grateful. And
Mhm.
yeah, I felt almost like this wouldn't be okay for someone to invade my space, as you're saying.
Mhm.
But they weren't doing it as an aggressive, act. They were doing it as a helpful act.
Mhm. Mhm. And
Yeah.
what was the thing that came after that?
So after
Oh,
that,
you said the thing about the Kingston, that they're melded down
yes,
from.
I'm explaining they are. Oh, it says here, this is my new, this is the new Freudian slip. It's like voice to text. It says here, melted, explaining they are melted down gold, not from India, but from Kingston.
That's interesting.
Oh, interesting.
What does that mean to you, like to have it be from India versus Kingston?
Well, I have had, I think like two people come up to me, as I wear these and say, "Oh, are those from India?" Because I guess
Oh,
in
okay.
India they melt down gold.
Oh, Okay.
But this I had done, my friend was wearing this pair actually, and I loved it so much that she has a person in Kingston who melts down gold, like older gold jewelry, into new shapes.
Okay.
So
Okay. So there's some reality check there. There's actually
that's
something
right.
that
That's right.
that could happen or have happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, I've never been to India, but I have been to Kingston, New York.
Yes, I'm sure you have. Um, so how did you feel when you woke up?
Um, when I woke up, I was also aware there was another fragment that I'm not recalling. And my first thought was like, record it, right? It wasn't even like, I didn't really feel anything necessarily towards the dream. I just was feeling towards my dream recall,
Yeah.
get it down.
Yeah. I've had that too before where it's like, I don't know how I just want to write it down. Yeah.
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 Um, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just what I said, like the first way that I felt when you were sharing the dream was like that's such personal space. And
Yeah.
but the person trying to help me,
Yeah.
like, is there another way that that could happen?
It almost felt like I am so grateful for all the love one can have in one's life. It almost felt like the smothering, like
Hmm.
mother, or like, you
Yeah,
know,
like a micro detail of something on you.
right,
It's like,
oh, let me fix that for you,
right, right,
manipulative. And I just want to say, I do not have a manipulative mother, and actually my mother passed away in 1995, so it's not, and that's part of a reality check
right.
also. It was also like, it was, I don't want to say who it was almost like, because I encourage my loved ones to listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it did feel that way, like, like you might imagine, like an old relative who has like too much powdery perfume on and red lipstick, and grabs the kid and kisses the red lipstick
Yes.
on the cheek.
Totally, totally. That's kind of exactly the image.
Yeah,
Let me, oh, take this out of your eye or here, like,
exactly. Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
um,
Mm.
oh God.
Lick your eyelid.
Ugh, let me put that, let me like, it's like almost a control thing,
It is, isn't it?
right? It's like, I'm not helping you. I'm like really controlling something that makes me uncomfortable because your earring is like unfinished.
Yeah,
Like, so it's
right,
like, oh, I'm
right.
fine with that. Like, I'm fine with it. The earring's staying in my ear. So,
I had a funny incident over Labor Day. I went to my sister and her husband's family's country home in Red Hook, and a friend of theirs was there, and my sister introduced him and said, he's, let's see, I want to change his name, um Tony. He's Tony. She's like, this is Lumberyard Tony. It's not this Tony, it's not that Tony, it's Lumberyard Tony. And I guess I was only half listening, because when I met him and I'm like, oh, you're Junkyard Tony. And he was like, what? Like, lumberyard, but lumberyard is so much more, official,
yeah.
bigger than things, and I was like, oh, I just picture you in a scrapyard with like old car pieces. But I kept saying to him, like, I mean, no judgment, that's, and then we were singing Bad Levi Brown.
Is that related to the dream at all, or
um
just something that happened random?
I think now actually it might be related, right?
Uh, okay. Can you say more
Interestingly.
about that? How
Okay.
related?
Well, there was a lot of things that happened on that Labor Day,
Mhm.
family related, that were about family relations, and I once read such an amazing book about that. What's that Jungian psychologist's name who wrote about, I think she has a book about anger and another one about family dynamics, like triangulation. Well, I don't remember.
Harriet Lerner.
Yes,
Hmm.
very good.
Thank you.
So
Yes, of anger. Yeah.
so there was not anger wasn't the identifiable feeling, but there was some family stuff playing out, and
Hmm.
um and so it feels similar in that way.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anything you would have done differently in the dream, or like would want,
Oh,
like would you have said something to the person like, hey, or
right. It's almost like back out. It's like
yeah.
totally in the space. Um, Again, it feels like a family dynamic playing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good to, yeah, that's almost good enough to have make meaning. Yeah, make
Yeah.
meaning. But it's like, yeah. Okay.
So
Anything else you want to know
I
about it?
don't want to know. Um, but I want to know about gold, like spinning gold into straw, like that fairy tale image, because it's like smelting gold into a hoop earring. It's like so it feels magical in that way. And that would be Rumpelstiltskin, the fairy tale
I
Rumpelstiltskin.
don't know. I don't know the those things. I don't know what do you call them fairy tales that well. But I'm
Okay.
looking at the word smelding because I don't think it's a word, but
Okay.
just curious.
But I'm going to tell you the story of Rumpelstiltskin. So,
Smelting. Sorry.
smelting, what is that?
Is a process by which a metal is obtained either as the element or as a simple compound from its ore by heating beyond the melting point.
Okay, that's what I was talking
So
about.
you're combining melding and
Yeah.
and smelting in one word.
Okay.
It's
Yes.
basically like an alchemical process, right?
Yeah.
Turning
Ooh,
one metal into another or something.
exactly.
Yeah, alchemical process. That's cool. Yeah.
So the gist of Rumpelstiltskin, which I feel I need to tell you because it's a fairy tale that
All right.
I should know. So there's a okay, how does this work? There's a powerful king, and he wants, let's see, and he sees this maiden when he's hunting in the woods, and I'm sorry, I don't remember how he thinks she's magical. Somehow he thinks she's magical. And he locks her up in the tower, the palace tower, and says, by the morning you must spin all of the straw into gold. Oh, I remember her father, the farmer, started boasting and made it up. It was a lie. My daughter is so, magical, she can do this. And then the king gets word of that and then grabs her and puts her in the tower with a lot of straw. And she's crying and doesn't know, how do you do this? How do you, make, and this little man shows up and he's like got a pointy hat and like just really scary in my childhood book. Which I might still have because it was that, startling to me what Rumpelstiltskin looked like. Um, and and then he spins. Oh, he says, "What will you give to me if I spin all of this straw into gold?" And she says, "My ring," or whatever. And so he spins it into gold and goes away. And in the morning, the king comes back and he's like, "Oh, okay, good. Like, I will let you live." And the next day, he brings even more straw into the room and locks her in the turret again. And she says, what will I do? How will I do this? And again, that little man, Rumpelstiltskin, spins it for her. What will you give me? She gives him her bracelet. Now, a third time, this creepy little dude comes and she has even more straw to spin. And he said, he wanted her to promise him her firstborn child because she was going to marry the king. And she says, no, I don't want to do that. And he says, well, the only way I'll let you out of it if you can guess my name. Right. And then there's this whole thing with Jack, Harry, whatever, every name. And she can't think of, she sends out people, footmen, to find all the names of all the people in the kingdom. And she's trying every name. And then it so happens that one of the footmen hears some singing and smell a campfire in the woods. And a little man is dancing around the fire saying, my name is Rumpelstiltskin. Rumpelstiltskin is my name. And tells the girl, soon to be the princess. And so when he comes back, she guesses, just random names. No, that's not it. And that's not it. And then she says, Rumpelstiltskin. And he screams. And in my childhood storybook, it looks like he's just pulled into the ground and never heard it from again.
Isn't he the one that sleeps forever or something? Rumpelstiltskin?
So that's Rip Van Winkle.
Rip Van Winkle.
Well, I'm not going to get into
told you I didn't know.
Our listeners are good enough to let me be the kindergarten teacher that I am.
No more stories.
Okay. You had a fragment, or
I did have a fragment, but I just want to make sure that we're clear. Or does that dream like correspond to the story you just told? Like, is there some connection? Spinning something, the alchemical process.
That's right. The alchemical process. That's how it relates.
The straw into gold. Yeah. So maybe there's something, in that, like that there's something in the
right.
Smelding, whatever word you're using, right? Yes. Like something to that, since that was a word that came to you in the dream, that it's about turning something into something else.
Yes.
That could just be in so many ways, it could be doing it differently, like telling that person to kind of back off or whatever, or it could just mean like in life, like, what do I want to do differently? How do I want to create, something new out of something old?
Hey,
maybe.
I see that. But image I had with the smelding is, at all the Epworth county fairs, not county fair, but little fairs that we had in High Falls. There was a person working with wrought iron over a very hot fire on an anvil, and he was, hammering it, and sparks were flying. And that's the image I had about smelding.
Yeah. Like, to me, it just feels like, recreating something, right? Melting a metal into another form is really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So
I'll be interested to see where that leads.
Something new. It feels like something new.
Yes.
And we are in the new year coming up soon, the Jewish New Year.
Yes. Oh, yes, we are.
Yeah. I hope that was helpful.
It was very helpful.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I have a visceral reaction to that story. The book I had, the pictures, of his little slinky self, and like his clothes were bigger than his body, and they were little knots, and he just seemed like a scary little guy, and I'm even feeling a little nervous right now, like a little brush of remembering how that made me feel. So
yeah, that sounds kind of telling somehow, that you're having like a visceral feeling about it. Like that it's important somehow.
I don't know what it means.
Yeah, no, but just that it's important to look at what it might mean, if you're having that kind of visceral sense that it's like there's something in it.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, My baby started the 8th grade yesterday.
Oh, wow. God,
You know,
growing up so fast.
maybe it has to do with that. How am I gonna protect my baby? I'm going to go growing up.
That dream doesn't seem anything of that sort.
Oh no, the
But
story. The story.
oh, the story. Oh, yeah, with the creepy guy. Yeah.
Meet the new boss, same as the old boss. I don't know. When something stays with me, it feels like, okay, here we go again. Like I have to learn around this cycle. I don't know what I have to learn, but clearly it's something.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what either. I don't have any much more to offer about that, but
I think I have that book. I might not, it might just be seared in my memory. I mean, I have the book, but I might. And yeah, I don't know. It was so fearsome to me as a child that I was really, I didn't even really like having that book in my bedroom. It
yeah,
something approached like a real fear. And yeah, it's good to look at that.
Yeah. See what all that symbology means, turning, the alchemical process of turning something into something else, or
Yes.
And maybe also the fact that it was like specifically from Kingston, not from India, that it's something close to home.
I was thinking that too. Say more about that, please.
I don't know, just something that's closer into yourself, closer into what's true for you
20
here.
minutes
Not a global
car or 20 hours on a plane.
Yeah, exactly. It's like maybe something inside yourself, that's shifting and changing, or maybe you don't have to go so far. You don't have to go so far out, to find what you're looking for, to find the goal,
oh my
to
gosh.
find the transformation.
Huge. Or as Bernie Sanders would say, huge.
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 It's huge.
Oh my gosh. So I just got such a hit on that.
Yeah.
My mother, my lovely deceased mother, who I spoke about, used to say to me, Jess, what are you looking for? Ever the seeker. What are you looking for? Don't you know you can only find it within? And at the time, I was in my early 20s, and no, I didn't know that. I looked many, many places for that elusive thing that I was looking for. And but it comes back to that's so true.
Yeah. That we're the only ones who can actually do it, or at least we know we can look for help, but it's right there.
Yes.
Not so far off.
I like that. Right. And also if I looked at it in a spiritual way, right, the people go to India as seekers. Looking at the piece of myself as a seeker.
Yeah.
Here at home.
Oh, that makes sense too. Yeah, that gets me a little like, ooh, yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow, that's profound, right? We don't have to go all over the place and read a million things and go somewhere, go to some guru somewhere. It's like we really have what it takes right here.
That's right.
Yeah.
100%.
That's a great reminder, for me too.
Yeah. But that says nothing about the magic of Ireland that you're going to in a couple of days.
I am going to Ireland. Yeah. Well, I've been so in the minutia of what it is to travel and, take care of your life here and take care of all the things and I feel like I've been in like this OCD control mode of trying to like get, minutia details of things and, whatever. Like I said earlier, I'm good at that sort of thing. And you know,
organizing.
I'm organized and I'm usually very prepared, but like we can't prepare for a lot of things.
Yes.
What's happening is I'm so in that, I'm calling it OCD. I don't really think I have OCD, but just, and I don't mean any disrespect for those who
Extra
have that,
preparedness,
because
perhaps.
I know it's a real thing. Um,
But I think it's a
yeah.
real thing, and you do have OCD. I don't know that this is OCD.
I don't know if I have OCD. I have ADHD,
Oh, you have ADHD.
which sometimes comes out in that
Right.
micromanagey, like a little detailed thing. So
Uh,
it can be
right.
a symptom of the ADHD, but I don't necessarily I've never been diagnosed with OCD, and I don't actually think I have that. But
You need the DSM.
yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I don't. But anyway, so I mean no
I'm
disrespect,
talking to
when I say
myself.
that.
I'm not
Um,
saying, I'm not telling you to read it. I'm telling myself to,
but
because there's a lot that I don't know, these psychiatric differences.
oh, uh-huh.
So I need to.
Yeah. Well, I know because I have, some of that stuff. So, but
I know.
and I know I have people who have those things. So,
Yeah.
anyway, just to say that, yeah. So that's all about that. And I'm looking forward to kind of shifting my energy so that I can actually be present in the excitement and in the like, wow, I'm going on an adventure, and I'm starting to get there. But, yeah, I also tend to kind of withdraw from the world a little bit when I travel for a few weeks, because I don't want to get a cold. I don't want to get COVID. I want to make sure I'm healthy. So
You
I
have to wear a
stopped
mask.
things that feel good to me, like going to my dance classes and going to my 5 rhythms thing, which are the things that are the most magical for me and work for my well-being. Not doing them because there's like 50 people in a room, like moving
Right.
around dancing. So I'm not wearing a mask, and so I haven't been going. So those are the places where I actually am able to um, deal with the energetics of all of these things, like ADHD and anxiety. Like, it's so helpful to move and dance and kind of get it embodied, and then I feel better. But I haven't been doing them, so I'm
Yeah.
just acting out.
So
Anyway,
dance
yeah,
community. Is there a dance community, Ellen, where you're going? Is there some sort of dance community?
I'm not going to be able. I don't, probably not. And
Okay.
maybe there would be, but I'm not, it's not that kind. It's a trip where I'm just doing a certain thing. Like, I'm not, people keep saying, oh, you should go here. And
This is that writing workshop.
no, it's an art workshop.
Oh,
Art and spirit is what she calls her retreats, art and spirit retreats. So
it's the
we're going to
woman
be
you went to
spending,
school with.
no,
Oh,
it's somebody that I've done workshops with before. I've done a lot of workshops with
yeah.
her before. Yeah. She's in the Hudson Valley. Her name is Melissa Harris, and she's an artist, and she
Oh,
does these art retreats. And
love that for you.
yeah. So there's going to be a lot of, I mean, we will get up to different things and go out in the world and explore, but there's definitely going to be some time where we're in like a very beautiful place, but we'll be in and painting inside, and then we'll be outside painting, and then we'll be visiting and going to a pub, I'm sure, and hearing music and
You
doing
mean
all that.
you're not going to rent a bicycle and pedal across Ireland?
No, I would love to do that though.
I thought you would, right? That's
Absolutely would love to do that. Yeah. Well, the ironic thing is, I think I might have said this in our last podcast, is that, Tim, my ex-husband, passed away about, I don't know, whatever, 5 weeks ago now, 6 weeks maybe. And he and I, when we were married, right away, we were like, let's go to Ireland. Like, we really wanted to go to Ireland together, but we wanted to do it that way, like on the bike, hiking, or the bike. And those kind of tours are so pricey. We just couldn't ever find a way to make it work. Then he died, and now I'm going.
Which is why I feel like this is going to be an incredible.
It's nothing to do with him, honestly. He planned this trip.
No, it has only to do with you, and
yeah, but it's just kind of interesting.
Yeah. No, I would, though it doesn't, I'm not saying it has anything to do with him. I'm just feeling, if it was my situation, I might want to stay open to the fact that maybe there is a piece of him that now it can get fulfilled, that I'm going to Ireland.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, we are, yeah, there has been a little bit of a communication. In fact, I did a writing piece that was mostly processing, some of the end of our relationship. And I did it in a writing group. And I just wrote this piece that I didn't think was all that good. It was just processy kind of stuff. But it turns out I edited it, and I'm going to read it in our in our salon that we have, literary salon that she does online, and
Wonderful.
you can invite people to come read,
I
So,
love
but I feel like, a lot, one of the conclusions that I came to in the writing is like, none of this has anything to do with you. It's like, I picked you who was going to poke into all my shit, right? I picked you. I did that.
partner. Yeah,
Right?
you were a good
Too, right?
reflection of me.
Yeah, you did this and that and the other thing, but I picked you.
Yeah.
So not that it's just, there's no blame for towards
First,
anyone, but it's right. Anyway, so that's that. That's that. And I haven't been dreaming so much, I think, because I am a little anxious before my travels. But I had an image and I could shoot myself for not writing this down, because I remembered it and I remembered it for days. And now I remember one piece of it, but not the first piece. So I'll say the second part.
okay.
And the second part was that somebody was, I think, paying me money for something. And it was like 38 something, $38, 38 cents, 38 euros, 38 pounds. I don't know, whatever. It wasn't clear. And then somebody came in and said, no, you're supposed to get 48, not 38. And those numbers don't really mean anything, but they were so specific.
Yeah.
Well, that was it. And maybe it was something like I'm supposed to get a raise, or although I did just raise my prices, so that's not it.
Okay. I always add up a number. I always practiced a little bit of, numerology or, gematria. And so 38 is 11. And that seems like a very holy number to me, mystical even. But 48 is 12. And so that feels in a different way, like the 12 tribes. Like I like to think of what comes in 12, what comes in the number that I'm thinking about. A dozen eggs.
Bagels.
But not a baker's dozen. That's 13. Nobody said 58. So I think that's very interesting. Do you have any associations with that?
I don't. I wouldn't have even mentioned it because it seems like it's one of those things that doesn't seem like important. But the fact that I kept remembering, and I kept thinking, oh, that's so interesting. 38, and then they were paying me, and maybe it felt like it was for a massage or something. I'm not sure, but like it was something about what I was charging. I'm charging 38. No, you need to be charging 48. That's the right.
Totally. So that's amazing, because to me, if this is my dream, it feels like there's a part of me recognizing my own worth. And, I don't want to lowball this myself. I want to raise my prices. I'm worth it. I know what I'm doing. I've done it for a long time. I studied. I practice my own spirituality, my own creativity. So I like that.
The other piece of it, it was almost like there was this image of the number, whatever I was doing for the number, like massage, and they were like 38, 48. And then there was like an image that was like right next to it, kind of. And I think it had something to do with art. I just think it had something to do with
well, maybe
valuing my art, my
you have
creativity.
an Etsy page.
No.
Here, let me give you one more thing to clutter.
I don't have enough work to put on Etsy.
I know, I'm just kidding. But I'm just thinking, maybe if I'm selling something, I'm gonna, I should ask $48 for it instead of 38 or something.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right, about the value, like valuing my own value, period. Just valuing myself, maybe valuing my art. Maybe it's just, because sometimes, like the whole thing that happened with this piece that I wrote in this writing group, where I was really just like blah blah blah, like it felt like I was journaling, right? Like I wasn't writing a story or a poem. I was just like, just getting it out, some remnants of things from my relationship.
I like that. Journaling.
And to me, that isn't good writing, and it's that it has a value, but and so I have a judgment though about that, like, oh, I didn't write anything good. I almost told her I didn't want to be in the salon this time around, because I felt like everything I was writing was just journally, processy. And she said, but that's okay. Like, you know, with
process.
some editing, you know, it can be, it's a process piece, but it can actually, people can relate to it. They can learn something, you know.
So that makes me really happy that I'm valuing my writing more, and doing whatever it is that I'm doing right now is the right thing for me to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wise, like taking this course and sharing your process with people.
And just letting it be imperfect, letting it not be the most amazing piece, you know, letting it not be overwrought, you know, like sometimes I can write something and then I like, you know, edit it to death, kind of, you know, edit just to make it sound better and to make it sound more, you know, and then it's like it loses loses my voice.
Yes.
So this is very much my voice, and it sounds
okay. I love it. I love it. And I love that you're one is the dreamer, I dreamer, and valuing my contribution. I think it's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. I hope so. I mean, I think it's helping me to learn to do that. I don't know that I'm actually doing that yet, but
well, that's my new challenge.
Yeah, that's my new challenge. Yes, that's the new challenge for sure. Right. So that I keep doing it, because otherwise what happens is I quit. I stop because I don't value it, or I don't think I'm doing anything meaningful, and then I just jump into another activity.
Right,
and then I get stuck in that
ADD.
activity. Like, oh, this isn't that good, or I should just stop, and then I move away. So,
Yes.
welcome to my world. And that's part of the ADHD also, you know, but because we get bored easily and we jump around, but also part of it is like that, you know, what value I put on it. And instead of just keeping on, and maybe this isn't the best piece, but let's see what happens next, and going, you know.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thanks for helping me make meaning out of something.
So menial.
Right. Yeah, and we do, like you
I'm
said earlier, it's active imagination. We're really just kind of making it up. But
gonna call this podcast, what did I just say? The meaning of the menial.
making meaning of menial. Meaning from meniality.
Oh, today's my dear deceased dad's, what would have been his 81st birthday.
Wow.
He died at 78.
Mm.
So I'm thinking of him a lot.
Yeah, blessings on his memory.
Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, may his memory be a blessing. That's such a perfect thing to say.
That's such a Jewish thing to say. I love it. I always know someone's Jewish when
May
they
his memory be a blessing.
Yeah, but it's great. I mean, it really is. It's a meaningful thing to say, you know, I think.
One of my life, year-long home health helper and really good friend, Donna, who's from Jamaica. So she speaks Padua, you know, and so they say whenever she leaves, she says, we say to each other, bless up, because that's the like part of it. And I love that so much.
That. I love that. It's great. Bless up.
Bless up.
I miss that about living in New York, you know, where you get people from, like, I lived in a sort of neighborhood that was, like a particular neighborhood though at the time, many years ago. Now it's probably all white now, but you know, it was very not white at the time. It was very, very mixed. I mean, I was pretty much a minority.
Yes.
It was like
really good.
People from the islands, like Haitian islands, and just and you know, Jamaican islands. There was, you know, there was a lot of that culture there, and that voice, you know, and that kind of language, the patois. I thought it was patois, but
patois. What did I say? Patois with the D?
Patois. Yeah, I think it's patois. But anyway, I love that. I love that.
I love it too. Everything's a little spicier, from the food to the language to
totally. It's like juicy. Yeah, I love it. I know. It's very white here.
Yeah.
Yeah, very middle-aged white where I live, which is sort of dull. But I'm that too, so oh well.
I just wanted to say, I feel like it's very important to be a minority, like a racial minority at a certain point in one's life. You know, there's no delusions of supremacy. It's just, be the one white person and at a Black and Puerto Rican barbecue, like,
Right.
I really feel like that's,
Yeah, no, I definitely felt like that a little bit when I first moved into that neighborhood. I mean, there
yeah,
were other white people too,
sure,
but it was definitely much more mixed.
that's nice.
It got a little bit,
Bed
gentrified.
Stuyvesant, where did you live?
So it was at Prospect Heights,
Okay.
like right next to Park Slope, right on the other side of Flatbush Avenue, but on like the other side of the track, so to
Oh,
speak. You know what I mean, it was just like
when I used to live on the
over,
other
like Park
side of the
Slope was over
track.
here, cross over Flatbush, and then, and then it was the
Where's
left.
where's Dumbo? What do they call that?
That's down underneath the Manhattan Bridge overpass. That's what it stands for.
Okay.
Dumbo.
Love it.
So it's Manhattan Bridge is where the Manhattan Bridge,
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you again, Ellen, and I'm really looking forward to hearing about your travels. And please call or text or anything when you're away. I have WhatsApp.
You have WhatsApp? Okay, cool. That's like that. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. So
I have a big dream. Maybe we'll do a podcast from there, but I don't know that
that's
that's
good.
no.
Or not,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. No, probably I'm not even bringing my computer, so
yeah, totally. So I want to say to our listeners, bless up and hold a mode metukim.